keep track of.
Yeah. And luckily, Robin and I are not going to be the only ones on here all day. What if that, oh gosh, that was one thing I was thinking, like, this is a streaming marathon. We're all online, just like constantly playing video games, basically.
Yeah.
What it felt like.
So
And
yeah, I don't know if anybody else does the Great Sunflower Project. They're
Yeah.
connected to this.
Uh,
1
yeah,
million
I
acts
don't know
of
if anybody.
science.
sorry, you could keep talking. My audio just
Okay.
started turning on with the live feed, but you're good now. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So there's just lots of projects you can do that are affiliates and you'll really help make a difference in scientific research.
Yeah. Today is going to be a big one because of how much you can do too. Because the universe is just, I mean, they have millions of observations of everyone
Yes.
for that matter. So the SciStarter community getting to 1 million by the end of the month should be a no big thing. And we are already past the halfway point. And yay, we have Bob joining us. Sweet. So I can really do like a reset. Hi everyone who's on Facebook, by the way. Awesome. And I'll change your name or actually, can you change your name for yourself? Because you're right now project leader guest. Um, I forgot my train of thought. Uh-oh. Oh well.
We're
Well,
the
actually,
halfway mark and
oh yes. Yeah, we're at the halfway mark. So if I go to open like a new tab. So we halfway point through 1 million is 500,000 if you know your maths, and therefore we're already past that. We're 29,000, almost 30,000 above that point. So it's very exciting to see that we're already on the upswing here. So if you're keeping track with us, like our team biting our nails, like, are we gonna make are we gonna make it? We definitely will. Also, for anyone who did Eclipse projects, by the way, I think today is the last day for soundscapes submissions. So that's me. I'll be submitting my soundscape submissions today because I did not submit it immediately like a terrible, terrible volunteer. No. Yes. So I'm going to be keeping tabs on this. Actually, let's mark it right now because then we'll be able to tell what happens after today. I want to know. So we were at 529,796, and then we'll see how far we can get it up before the end of the day. All right, so I'll go back in time a little bit. So for anyone just joining us either on Facebook or for those of you who are online with us, if you're working on Squirrel Mapper already, that's awesome. If you're waiting for our instructions, sorry for the minor delay. Again, we did kind of talk about it. If you did go through the tutorial, you can just keep working and we'll come back to it and start doing it together in a bit. And if any of you want to share any screens that are difficult to do too, let me know and we can maybe help you out too. All right, so this is 1 million acts of science for Citizen Science Month. We're trying to get up to that 1 million point, as I just mentioned, with our current goal or current amount at the 530,000 essentially. And so as a part of this, today we're talking citizen science, obviously, for every single project we do. We want to do collaboration between scientists and those of us who are kind, curious, and motivated to make a difference. And we want to make it available to everyone. And so today specifically, we're talking about our day 15, our halfway point. We're doing a 12-hour marathon referred to as a Palooza of Zooniverse projects. And so if you are here for us for all 12 hours, wow. I don't know if you need to do that. I won't be here for all 12 hours, nor will Robin, nor will Bob, but we'll be back intermittently throughout the day. So happy to be here, but take a break, go eat some food or something. Or just listen to us chat and eat your food while we chat. So we're spending the halfway team with our team or halfway point with our team across the whole day doing different projects to show that we care enough that we don't just want to tell you to do it, we want to do it ourselves. So in order to do that, this is all Zooniverse projects today. So here's these instructions again. I've mentioned them a couple of times, but for those on Facebook or watching it later from the recording, we have going to SciStarter, you look up the project that you want to do in the quick search or in the project finder, the full one. And then by going to that page and clicking visit, so in the case of Squirrel Mapper is really the only one that's a little bit unique in this way, actually, which is interesting. So if I go to Squirrel Mapper, this one has a lot of different projects. And so I actually just scroll down to here, participate in Squirrel Mapper on Zooniverse. So if I click this, and then it's luckily one of the featured ones, but you can also just look it up on Zooniverse. And then I can go ahead and get started. So I'm going to back up a little bit just so I can have that schedule back in front of us. But you can work on these at any point, and it'll go through a tutorial where you'll always know how to do it, and you have a field guide a lot of the times to check your answers and confirm things, etc. But for your setting up your Zooniverse profile, Robin also just showed off on her page how you use the username, and you just drop it into the into your SciStarter dashboard. So once you go on to Zooniverse, you have an account, you take that Zooniverse username and you drop it in your affiliation integration right here, which I scrolled super fast, but this is my account on SciStarter. Okay. So that was
Just another one thing real quick. If you just created an account, they'll send you a Zooniverse, will send you an email, and you just have to click a link that confirms, you wanted the account and everything. So just if you have problems getting in with your new account, check your email.
That's a good point. They do like authentication on that one. That might also be what turns this on too, so you definitely should click that before you get started. I'm not positive because I'm not a computer scientist, but I'm sure it helps. Okay, so Bob has joined us too because I asked him to be here for us to be a bigger group for this first one this morning. So, and we have several people already in the attendee list, so thank you everyone again for joining us. I see one new person that I hadn't seen before. Cool. Okay, so we're doing Squirrel Mapper for the rest of the hour, which is about 38 minutes or so. And then we'll be doing a lot more projects. So for anyone who needs a reference point for all the other projects, I'm going to drop this in the chat so you can see what project we're doing and what, oh, wrong group, sorry, to everyone, not just to host panelists. That link will take you to this page, which gives you the list of projects so you can see what we're doing next. So, and Darlene will be joining us for Cedar Creek, or joining me anyway. So when these two head off, Darlene will join us for Cedar Creek, and then for marine creatures, and then Roland will join us as well. So we'll be filtering through and see what happens. We have a couple of project leaders joining us as well. I think our first one joining us is actually on We Dig Bio. So at 1 p.m. we'll have a project leader joining us. It'll be great. Cool. Is Squirrel Mapper from one particular state or place or from all over the country? That is a great question. Let's find out. Nothing here. Okay, so I went through that. Let's see. Let's go back to about.
I can tell you.
Um,
Squirrels are so eastern gray squirrels are now they're native to east of the Mississippi, but now they're everywhere. And so they're looking for information from all over the world now because they're a invasive species in Europe and many other places and in Asia. So yes, you can participate from anywhere now.
Yeah. Actually, Bob, on that note, it was crazy. We're talking almost, 30 years ago. We lived in our family lived in Scotland, and we were at a park and we saw a gray squirrel there, which was not indigenous to that part of the world. And it was funny, a lady got all excited because she saw the gray squirrel, and we're like, they're all over our yard in Connecticut where we live, at the time. So yeah, and they're coming up to the Pacific Northwest where Douglas squirrels are the squirrel. But yeah, I've seen gray squirrels up in Washington State.
And that's a bad thing for environmentally, but it's an interesting thing for evolutionary biology, which is what Mike Cosentino is studying, who he runs the Squirrel Mapper project. So he is interested in getting data there and seeing, the main thing is melanism, the coat color of these squirrels, and how urban areas affect it and how it varies between urban areas and rural areas where, of course, they evolved. There were no cities. And so these are experiments. When they go to other new places where they've never been before, what coat color is more advantageous is like an experiment. And so that plays into his research somewhat, although he's not happy that they're becoming a problem in other places.
Yeah, good information.
Yeah, it's also one of those things that I get nervous about too, is because there are different types of squirrels. Looking at these, I just realized when I was looking at this, I'm like, oh, I just assumed. And the face does look like the gray morph, I think. But it is interesting to see the different ones and like try to really find the real changes. Because I think one has a very specific tail too. I think the red squirrel has a very fuzzy tail or something like a.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's kind of like 3 projects in one because he was, Mike was encouraging people to post it to iNaturalist. Post
Yes.
any pictures, tie naturals, and then you'll have experts, especially if you have really good, nice pictures, will help identify it for you. And only the ones that are Eastern gray squirrels will get included in the Zooniverse project where they have people looking at the coat color. So he has some, even if you don't feel like you're an expert and can't tell a red squirrel or a fox squirrel from a gray squirrel sometimes, they'll help.
I wonder then, because they do still have the squirrels red and squirrels fox squirrels, different types, flying squirrels on here too. Wow. I wonder if they do that just if there's like, because this one, the one that we chose, Robin and I chose was the one that's about their predators too. So we're looking at the squirrels plus predators. So I wonder if this one is just like they have a lot of different types. Maybe actually, let's go back because I
Where
wonder.
are you? You're at Squirrel Mapper. Okay.
So squirrels and their predators, which is what we chose, and then just squirrels. So I wonder if we go to just squirrels,
Yeah.
we'll see only specific coat colors. So maybe that'll help us too. Whoa, is that an albino one?
No, there's actually, well, there can be albino, but there's actually a white color morph that's not albino. And where I forget, there's a population in South Carolina of white gray squirrels. Um, so yeah, so they can be other colors too. And there's a brownish reddish one too.
Wow, way to
He's
make it.
mostly interested in the dark.
And Bob, did was there information, and I'm sure you've interviewed the project researcher, is there any description or understanding of why the coats have evolved into these different colors?
Yeah, I think that, and I don't know why this isn't in all squirrels, but in the gray squirrel, I think it's a single gene or single gene location or something very specific where it doesn't take very much to flip it. Whereas I
Okay,
think in others, it's more of a multiple, it's a harder mutation to have happen.
interesting. Great.
Yeah, I don't, and the other really crazy thing was that in many areas, the dark color morph is the squirrel. They didn't call them Easter, they called them something else, because they thought they were a different type of squirrel entirely. But this species was really widely dispersed, and in the north, they were mostly dark. And in certain areas of like Minnesota and places like that, they occurred and were mostly dark. Um, so yeah, it's very unusual.
We have a question in the chat, so I did send a message, but I just want to make sure that anyone else knows that if they might want to know. Can you post photos retroactively? In other words, photos of squirrels from a couple months ago. I'm assuming on iNaturalist is what you're referring to. And absolutely, yes, you can. As long as you know when it was taken and where. And usually that's actually in the metadata of the picture. So if you upload it to iNaturalist from the app, it'll usually say, oh, yeah, we know what day it was taken, where you were at the time, because the GPS is kind of tied in with the pictures metadata. So
Yeah.
you're also there.
And
Yeah.
this particular investigation isn't phenological. It's not based on season or time or anything like that. It's really just geographical. So where these are occurring. So it's not as important, when it was taken. I mean, they will know when it's taken, but he doesn't care as much because it's evolution over a fairly long
Mhm.
period of time. So he just wants the geography of these things.
Right. Yeah. Over a long period of time. Good old
Though
evolution.
not
Yeah.
as long as usual for evolution. I mean, he's just talking decades and centuries versus millions of years. So and that's why this is so interesting because it can happen so fast.
Ooh.
Look
Is
at those
that the
white
picture
ones.
we just sorry, two conversations happening. For anyone watching on Facebook, sorry. It's a Alicia wrote in that she has a leucistic squirrel, but it's a Western. So I assume that's it looks like the one I
The light.
just modified. This one looks like the exact squirrel with the little patch on its head. But the
Oh.
lighter one. So I wonder, is that, Bob, does that sound familiar to you, the leucistic? It sounds like Luke.
Yeah, so that's the light color, but it's not an eastern gray squirrel that happens to be white. It's a western, it's another
Mm,
kind of squirrel, Alicia.
yeah, it's
Another
got
species?
what
Yes. Okay,
how
well
is
that's
it?
in. So it can happen, and you can see it doesn't have well, at least these pictures that we're looking at, I don't know about Alicia's, but they don't have red or pinkish eyes. They're regular eyes. They're not
Oh,
albino. They have normal melanin because otherwise, if they didn't, their eyes wouldn't be dark. But their coat color is different.
Yeah,
not albino, just leucistic.
they're adorable though.
Leucistic, I don't know how to pronounce it.
Loose, Luke.
I'm not really a squirrel master. I'm just playing one for this Palooza.
Hey, but you're the one who's interviewed them. And I've
Yeah.
been on SciStarter Live with us and we've talked about it and it was so interesting, but it's been so long ago. So if any of you want to rewatch it, I'll probably rewatch it because now I'm very much in squirrel mode. Although we switch projects in a while and then I'll be on marine creatures mode or
Right.
something.
I think it
So
was the January
who knows?
podcast too that he was
Um,
on.
Yeah. Well, let's do a few of these just so people get a little bit more of experience looking at these, and then I'll switch back to the one with Predator. So this one, I think it might be good to look at this one first just because it's easier, it sounds like. I did the first one pretty quickly here, but we're looking at these images and just selecting how many you see in each one. So I only see the one squirrel. It's a beautiful picture. So whoever is on Ad Natural is setting this one in. Awesome job. It's super cute. Cute is the requirement. Black, gray, other. So this one kind of looks like the red one that's classifying coat color. So if I go back to the tutorial to give me the option. So for this one, it looks like this guy, great coat color. But I'll look at the next one too. Yeah, so if it's a black coat color, it's going to be pretty significant then, right? It'll be pretty distinctly dark. So I'll go with gray for this one, even though he looks a little ginger. And then next, is this squirrel alive or dead? Such a difficult choice. And then we have next, on a road service or other service. Oh, this is one of my favorite parts about talking to the squirrel friends, including Brad Cosentino, was talking about how they're trying also to distinguish how long it takes for a squirrel to know, or how long it takes for a squirrel to run away from the road if they're in the road before a car hits them. There was an entire PhD thesis about like, let's look at these pictures and how often you see squirrels and how they're hiding, like what's their visibility like against gray or like the streets, right? So that's a part of the evolutionary changes potentially to cope. This is definitely an other surface. And I'll hit done. If you hit done and talk, by the way, for any of you listening in, that'll allow you to go to a new page that's for that observation, and you can write any questions you want about that one too. So if you're unsure about what your answer was, you can write in, "Ooh, this was a weird one. I'm not quite sure." Oh, I love this little tiny guy in the corner, little tiny eye. I only see one. I'm gonna go next, and then, all right, for this one. It looks a little bit darker, but do you think that qualifies as a black morph?
No, he's gray.
I will take your word for it. This tail looks funky, looks different. Weird. Alive or dead? I mean, it seems alive to me. This one's a good one for when you're not. I'm so glad we're doing this one in the morning. Good job. Good job. Other surface. All right. Oh, tougher. Okay. This one. Okay, so for anyone who's not super useful or not super used to using Zooniverse, one of the tricks is going zigzag, is what the project leaders have told me. So I go in zigzags across the screen to make sure I'm not missing anything. So I see something right here. Does that look like a squirrel to you?
I don't know.
Might be.
Don't
Could
forget,
be
they could be dark too. So this goes into the trying to find the search image. You're looking for
Now,
some
is
gray or
that
something.
one?
This
Is that
definitely
one on that
That's a squirrel.
right there on the log?
Yeah.
on the in a different spot. So
Right-
this one
Right
or
there,
one
over
right there. Yeah. No, you got it. Oh, there's another one?
Well,
see another
what's that on the left of it? If you go to the left, oh yeah, that I don't think that's a squirrel. That looks like a cat,
is
but I think no. So yeah, I think
That's a squirrel right there
that
that you're circling.
okay.
I
You
think
think
this
that's a
one's all the big-
squirrel?
Yes.
Yeah, it's got the eyes and the like
Okay. Okay.
eyes
Yeah,
on
now I
it.
see it. Yeah.
Looking at it, I did think it was a cat at first. So
And I would guess that's gray, but it's tough in that shade.
let's scoot back
Yeah.
over for a second because there
If
was
it were
one.
melanistic, it would really stand out in that picture. It'd be really dark.
Yeah.
Do we think this is a rock?
Yeah.
I think it's a rock.
Because it
Not a
has like that
squirrel.
one dot right there that's making
I
me think
know.
eye. It's very
Like a
rude.
mouse.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it could be a mouse.
I don't think it's anything though.
Yeah. I
It's
agree.
just the light playing tricks on us. That's why we can't use AI, friends. Even though we struggle, AI is worse so far.
Yeah.
Machine learning will get there, but not yet. All right, I think that's the only one I see then. How many squirrels? One.
That was a good catch. A lot of people would miss that.
I think we definitely need to use the zigzag method.
Yeah.
It's just
That's a
getting
good tip.
right. So yeah, I'll definitely keep repeating that one too. Is the squirrel in this image on the road service? No, it's on another service. Done. Okay.
Great.
Oh,
That's
nice.
easy.
Back to easy. All right. Well, I'd only see one. Are there any others
Now,
hiding?
related to this, if you go to squirrelmapper.org, not that you have to go there now, there's a game where you get images just like that, and you have to decide, you have to find the squirrel is all you have to do. And they have a
That's the
mix
one
of
I was
gray
referring
ones
to.
and dark ones. Um, hmm?
That's the one I
And
was
that,
thinking of, yeah, because it's the
I
one
think
that's
there's a graduate student who's using that that game for the research to
I
see,
think
well, what's the advantage of having a dark coat or a lighter coat in different environments? And in this case, you are the predator, so you're a hungry owl or whatever looking for the squirrel, and you have to try to spot it. And it's kind of hard. I don't know if it's just my eyes or my computer screen or what, but I had a hard time finding any of them in the mix of photos that I was getting. Um, so I was a bad predator. I would have starved. But anyway, but that's what they want is lots of people to do that.
Yeah, and I think that kind of helps answers a question by Nancy in the chat. What happens if someone misidentifies an animal? And I mean, we could have misidentified a squirrel just back at that last
Yes.
screen.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the whole purpose of the crowd by having several people, and that happens in a lot of the citizen science projects. It's not one and done, it's many people
Yeah.
having their eyes on an image.
Yeah. And with Squirrel Mapper, it happens even earlier because they're only picking pictures that over on iNaturalist, somebody, I mean, in most cases, identified, yeah, there's a squirrel in there. So we're getting spared a lot of the pictures that, don't have anything or are really totally off the mark.
Yeah, definitely. This is the easier method.
Yeah, there it is. 10 people review it.
Yeah, don't worry about wrong answers. Just go with your gut. Go with your best thought, and then if you're wrong, that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, especially since some of these, if they are really tough, if it's difficult enough where half and half are totally different answers, like we're really split as a crowd, those are the ones that they pay more attention to, and they either scrap it as bad data, or if that even happens, or it's evaluated as, okay, wait, no, we know what this is. It's done. We can figure out who's right about this.
It's the great thing
so
about
don't worry.
Zooniverse is they have a lot of quality control. Some of the projects that are just done by a small group aren't able to get the numbers and the quality control to the point that Zooniverse is able to get it. So that's it. That's really good about these. Others you have to be really, really careful.
I'm sorry, this is such a cute picture.
Oh,
It's so cute. Yeah. I'm gonna favorite that one. I don't remember what
if
that
they're
does.
too cute, it's going to slow down the data because you're just going to want to look at it and say, oh,
Oh, well, I could take a screenshot and then I'll have it forever.
that's true. You'll have it forever.
There we go. I'll have it forever. Actually, speaking of which, let me move you all over here because I'm gonna do a screenshot of, okay, my team. You're gonna say cheese in a second here. Let me just fix it. Okay, let me face the right direction. And it's gonna try to capture selected portrait. Okay, say cheese.
Cheese.
Okay, cool. We'll do that once every single hour.
Say acorn.
Acorn. Oh, is that one? Oh, wait, are you saying acorn as in like that's cheese?
No, I said instead of cheese, doesn't seem quite appropriate for a squirrel.
Good call. Very good call. For this squirrel, I'm thinking I only see one. There's no twin hiding behind it. What color is the squirrel? I'm thinking it's still gray. Do you agree?
Yeah, gray.
And
The dark are
then
pretty distinctive.
yeah, they are. Looking at that tutorial, I was like, okay, yeah, every squirrel looks like this. And then these are really, really dark.
Yeah.
Although these guys look like they have some of the light colors.
Yeah, there are some.
You'll see the light color mix.
Yep.
All right, other surface,
It's just
not a
this,
surface.
and like on this one, you just have to realize it's backlit, so you're seeing a lot of shadow.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah.
Gotta know where the sun is, kind of. Very nice.
The
That's
nice
what.
thing about this project is the more data, the better. It's not just like, why are we posting pictures of gray squirrels? Everyone knows what a gray squirrel looks like, but they need it, the finer the data is as far as geography, the better the research is. So, even though there's already been 1,000 squirrel pictures from your general city, doesn't mean they don't need yours. Because
Yes.
even a mile or less than that can make a big difference when you're talking about a gradient coming out from an urban area. So this is one of the ones that requires a ton of photos.
Yeah.
I
Snap
was
away.
waiting to see if we could get to a street photo, but I guess we could pause on this one and do the other one in the meantime. I'll do done and talk in a moment here. So I only see one. I'll go to next. You're gray.
Why are all of my photos that I am getting? I don't understand that. There's a question in the chat, but I'm not
So
sure.
I guess the source of the photos, why are they all trail cameras? And it's just,
Oh.
I guess, her luck and what's being fed to her, right?
Oh.
It's
Yeah, they're fed in different orders. If they look like they're trail cameras too, sometimes they are, but other times it's just people who are really good at taking photos too from like different sections. So it'll be a mix in general. But it could be that some are from trail phone. Are you seeing ones that are like from nighttime where they're trail cameras? Because that might be the case. They might just be feeding you all the night ones first.
Maybe they have like auto report from trail and they just get inundated from trail cameras. They just get more data. Because
yeah.
other people are tired of posting pictures of eastern gray squirrels, but the trail cameras never get tired.
Yeah, that's true. They
Yeah.
just
Like,
keep
I'm
And
not going to
she's
going.
post another
saying they're
picture of
all
a squirrel.
daytime.
Oh, but it has a
Trail
trail
cam
camera
data at the
data.
bottom.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, do you mean this information? Because these are trail cameras. Yes. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. Not all of them will be like that. I think it's just kind of luck of the draw. They put them in at random. So
Obviously getting
you
a
and
lot
I
of
will just
them.
not be looking at the same ones at the
Well,
same
can you
time.
imagine though a trail cam that's motion triggered and there's a lot of squirrels. So it's probably going snap, snap, snap,
Oh,
snap.
yeah.
There's squirrels, there's a lot more squirrels than our foxes or possums. So I bet the trail cams are just sending in tons of data.
Yeah, and those are the ones we need to probably pay more attention to in terms of do you even see a squirrel, period? So that's a good thing to
Yeah, because they
note.
can just run by. Yeah. They're
Although
too
if they're coming into
fast.
this project, I imagine they're using trail cameras that are looking at a lot of different things, right? And so they're kind of like if it has a squirrel, they're pushing it into this data mix potentially.
Yes.
Might be what's happening too.
Yep.
Speaking of which, this is a trail camera one, and I don't see anything. I'm gonna have to do this exact trick.
Too speedy. Well, actually, and you're at Zooniverse, so someone thought there was a squirrel there. It wasn't
Yeah,
just somebody identified one.
they could be pulling in more data though. I wouldn't be surprised. I haven't asked him, but they might be pulling in trail camera data that's like relevant based on their location.
Right. But they said that they're only, I mean, maybe not, but that's from 2 years ago.
Or like a mix, like they saw a squirrel and so they pull all the photos before and
All the
after.
ones
That might
that
be why.
someone identified a squirrel. But now don't forget, it could be a dark one.
Yeah, I'll go back again.
Oh boy. I don't know.
Yeah.
That does seem like a mistake, but
Yeah. Well, trail cameras, because they pull pictures with like these are looking at more things. So this data set might be pulling in ones that are mistakes because of movement, because they're looking at more than just the squirrel.
he said they
Yeah,
were
and they
correcting
said
for
even
that.
wind, can
Will move
move
it, yeah.
vegetation and cause a photo.
Yeah, there's even an option for nothing here, so I'm not too concerned. No animals visible, but do check around the edges of the image. Okay, checking the edges
Nose.
for the little nose.
Yeah. Or
Is
end
that
of a
it?
tail.
No.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Well, that so much for that theory, because I thought he was telling me that it only gets included if someone is positively identified a squirrel.
That's definitely this like the just squirrels one. I think this one might just pull more data from other locations, and so
Oh,
I
you're
think
on predators and
I
okay.
switched. Yeah, because
Oh
this
yeah, they may not look at that as carefully.
and like the trail images, they will pull the ones that are taken right before and right after because they'll take multiple. And so if they leave the screen, they leave the frame, then that happens all the time. That happens with Instant Wild and Cedar Creek, which actually I think Cedar Creek is the next one in 15 minutes.
Yeah, Alicia in the chat just mentioned that sometimes, you know, she runs a trail cam project, and sometimes there's just the tip of a tail or something of something running off the screen or something.
Oh man, do you see the tip of a tail?
No. But in this case, since it was not just squirrels, it could be a salamander, it could be anything. You know, I have to adjust our mental search image to look for, is there a snake? Is there, you know, so.
Like I could see that being an ear in the corner.
Oh, something that ran behind. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know how to
I don't know.
identify that. I think we're gonna have to go with nothing's here.
I'd say nothing.
No animals are currently visible. Okay. Done. All right. Now we're in the shadow of a tree. Oh, there he is.
What?
Okay, so there's our squirrel. Now,
Wait,
type of
oh my
squirrel.
gosh, I almost missed it.
Oh, good.
Great,
Yeah,
sure.
good catch.
Got the speedy eyes.
Mm.
The only problem I have now is that now I need to go back and look at, I want to remember what red and fox squirrels look like, because that is the tricky part. Do they, oh wait, it's not in here, it's in the other thing. If I put Eastern gray, it's often
The
confused.
tail
Yeah,
is pretty
so
distinctive, and the eye.
the tail is distinctive. Because this one has the orange, but the tail is more wispy. This
Look
one
at
looks
the
thicker,
eye.
right?
They always have like a light, almost have like eyebrows or something.
Should I try to? Oh, they have like that. Oh, I guess they both do. Almost like white eyeliner around this guy's
Yeah.
eye.
Yeah, that's that. To me, that's the immediate thing. I don't know if any of the others have that.
The eyeliner?
Yeah.
This one's kind of visible. I'm not sure if that's actually what we're looking at though. Oh, this one's got
And the white
super-
belly. Oh, what's that one? That looks like a
This
fox
is
squirrel.
the
And that
red
has white
squirrel.
too.
Yeah. I think
Oh,
they all have a medium version of
different
that.
body shape though, and different ears.
Yeah, this one's more bulbous. I think it's definitely not a red squirrel. A fox squirrel, though, I feel like it still could be.
I
Like
think
rounder
it looks
heads and
like a
rounder
gray
ears.
squirrel.
Okay.
I say gray.
That's why we use the power of the crowd.
It's the crowd of three.
Crowd of three. Hey, and all our friends in the chat if they're looking at ours.
That's true. They can jump in and say, "You guys are crazy.
And did we see any more? Or was it
Not a
just
squirrel at all."
I don't see any others
That's
yet.
true. You have to. That might not be the only one. Is he being chased? Another squirrel behind there in hot pursuit?
Oh, it doesn't look like it.
No.
Huh. Yeah, that's
Right
just
now we have all these little kits, these little squirrel pups. It's very cute in our
Aw.
neighborhood. Tiny.
That's really cute. You have baby squirrels around you.
Yeah, there was just one, and they're so, yeah, they're just seeing the world for the first time, and they're just fun to watch.
That's adorable. Please share photos if you have them later.
We have one really crazy active melanistic one too, who's really fun, and just jumps at nothing, you know, just like leaps in the air, and then he like scares himself, and then runs back. It's just a lot of fun to watch.
That's really funny. That reminds me of like a
Have to name
cat
them.
that just freaks itself out from silly things.
It is too bad you can't like have they don't have enough identifying features, at least to my eye, so that you would know them over the years, assuming they live years.
Oh
It's like,
yeah.
oh, there's
You could
Frosty, or there's Frank.
you could tag them with
You can
some
tag
blue.
them, and they wouldn't like that. I don't think you can legally. I don't know if you can do stuff like
You have
that.
to probably
Yeah,
ask
you,
someone.
I think you're supposed to
Even
have
if you could.
permits to do that kind of work.
I see a squirrel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I already found him. He's definitely Eastern gray. But I was trying to see if there's a
Any others?
another guy, but maybe not. Or predators. We're looking for predators too. Yeah, this one
Oh,
is
you're on that one. Boy, that's tough
Yeah,
because the
still on
predators
the
are good
predators
at making themselves not visible.
hidden. Yeah. I imagine if the squirrel's running, we might have better luck with predators, you know? Let me go back to, well, here, let me cancel for a second. So the other things we're looking for, so raccoon is a non-predator, but the rest are deer are definitely non-predator. Like some of these would be just like hanging out in the background
Yeah.
potentially. But the other ones that are like a black bear or a bobcat, like the squirrel would be either running or something.
If it knew,
A
If
tree.
it knew it was a
it could just
but
be a
those are
hawk
pretty
or an owl
big.
just
Like you'd be able to see a
watching and
black.
waiting. Yeah.
think we'd be able to see a black bear. Okay, so Eastern gray squirrel. I only see the one. Feeling pretty good about that. It's
Mhm.
gray. And identify. And then I hit done. Okay. Oh, there he is. I think I played Squirrel Spotter a lot, and so my brain is like on the path of
Wow.
I need to find it immediately.
Yeah, because
So
that's timed.
yeah, that one, yeah, it's quite fun though. If any of you want to play here, I'll send you the link. It's this one, Squirrel Spotter.
Anybody in the chat have any questions for us? Because we only got 9 minutes or something.
Except if you really love trail cameras, that's the next project too. So if you are digging this, you
Oh.
can stay on for the next hour or two for that one. But yes.
Yeah, this is a great project. There are some people who don't like to go outside, so this would be a great project for them to do. Or if you know somebody that's housebound, on a rainy day, you're just bored, this would be
Yeah.
another great project to participate in.
Yeah, or maybe you're in a place where there are no eastern gray squirrels, but you
That's
can
right.
still do it.
You just want to see some because they're adorable.
And of
Thank
course, we can't forget Project Squirrel, which is the other squirrel one, which is not just eastern gray squirrels. You're identifying what squirrels species you see in your backyard.
Yeah. So the
Oh.
other question is, can children participate? Yeah, absolutely. Though we ask that children are at least 13 before they have their own SciStarter account. So adults can do it with their kids through their account. You know, probably a nice parent or caregiver project to do with a child.
Right. They have sharp kid eyes too, so they can see stuff that we might miss.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I love telling people that about certain projects because it makes me laugh. They're like, "Oh, perfect! I'll make my middle schooler do it." I'm like, "Yes, do it." Okay, a couple of questions to answer here. I just clarified too. 13 plus on SciStarter for a SciStarter account, and then 16, I think, was the rule for Zooniverse. So if you were on the login, it is a different age, but just be aware that like login wise, just have a family account that the parent manages, and then there you go. Or teachers too, teacher accounts, and then have them all log into that one. It's all
Yeah.
supervised. Really easy to
Scouts,
do those things. Yeah.
scout
Mhm.
troop leaders. Yeah, just an adult that maybe manages it for youth.
Yeah. And speaking of our questions in the chat, there was another one about, do I have to report my findings to SciStarter to qualify? So it's a clarification question. If you mean qualified, do you mean for like the prizes at the end of 1 Million Acts of Science month, Citizen Science Month, or do you mean, oh yes, okay, cool. So for that one, yes, you'll have to make sure that you report it. So I'm on this page again so that I can show you how that works. Since this is also an event, I'm going to report this first hour and how many of us were on there. There were 8 in the chat at some point, I think. Oh no, we have more now. Yay. Okay, cool. So we have the 3 of us plus the 7 of you who are hanging out with us. Hello. Let me just double check that we don't have any repeats. Yep, we're good. So I'm gonna show you what this looks like. So I facilitate an event. You would be saying I did an act. So I'm gonna go to the reporting form as
Ooh, just by
facilitator.
being here?
Yeah, just by being here, you're a part of
Wow.
this event. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So 8th graders who are 13 could have their own accounts. Yes, so on SciStarter they can, but on Zooniverse they'll have to use a teacher account or a parental account. Yeah. 7th graders typically turn 13. Yeah, totally. Yeah, definitely. I would recommend having a teacher account just so I think high school is like a good transitionary point where they can get their own type of things, but this like in middle school, especially if they don't keep it going, it might just be easier to have a teacher account. But if you want them to all have their individual, then especially if you want to track like how often they're doing it, because you'll be able to see their contributions too. Like you could ask them to show you what their contributions are. How would you like my name? Emma G. My organization, I'm just gonna write SciStarter because I am SciStarter, although that's optional. Short 10 words. So we did the first hour of 12 or of the Zooniverse Palooza. Palooza. Yay. Estimated number of acts. Ooh, yeah. How many acts do we think we did? So there was 11 or 10 of us, or right, yeah, 10 of us. So there's 10 of us here. Estimated number of acts. I should have been counting. I didn't even think about that. I think I might be able to, might be useful.
How many you did personally, or?
Yeah, and then we'll see, like we can like round up around how many acts. So if any of you were working on this, can you
So
guess how many images?
wouldn't that be in your SciStarter
Dashboard?
So there's two options. Let me go back. You can
Your
try.
SciStarter account.
So if I'm just reporting my own acts, actually, you're right. Maybe I should just or my number of acts is we had 10 people on here. So we'll just say 10. Would any of you like your names displayed? It would just be your first and then your last initial. So if you'd like that, give me a
Sure.
in the chat.
Yeah.
So I'll put Robin. Bob, you're okay with that?
Sure.
Kristen, I see you. And then if you don't want it there, I'll wait for a moment. So I'll show you the other side in the meantime. So if you're individually saying what you did, so my email, I'm actually, let's see, how would you display? Yep. And then I write in. So since we're looking at a project today that's on Zooniverse, I'm going to show you. I'll send you. Oh, am I not logged in? I'm logged in, right? Okay. Oh, maybe it's because I am already logged in. Okay. So a short, let's say Squirrel Mapper. Estimated number of acts. I think I looked at least 20. That feels right.
Mhm.
And I can
But we were just in the Palooza, so we wouldn't say Squirrel Mapper, right? We would say Palooza.
Well, this is me, and I'm showing them the individual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the Palooza, I have it here, which let me check if there's anyone else who's okay with. All right, so I'm just writing Kristen. I'm not writing anyone else's name unless they give me a thumbs up. So I'll wait on that.
Okay.
All right. So on the version of how you would do it as an individual, just doing this project on your own, Zooniverse should tell you how many you've done. So I'm actually going to go to I think it's my dashboard. This is good because now I'm trying to remember how to do it. Ugh. Okay, so if I exit, done and talk, let me go to my profile. My stats, that's what it is. Oh, and I totally just got out of there.
You made 51 to date.
Oh, yay. To date? Oh, I don't want to date. I want all of them. Oh, I guess I do have to count them. My recent projects. Guana. Oh, there it is, right there. Sorry, that took me a
14.
minute. So good thing we know where that is. I can show everyone in the next ones. So I did 14. So I was overestimating. Whoops, let's go back. Let's go back. I did 14. And then a squirrel mapper. So my act was participate in Squirrel. IDs, project or event name, Squirrel. Oops. Mapper. Nice. Squirrel mapper. And then I say submit my report. And then I did it.
Wow.
And then this, by the way, my friends, if you want to be qualifiable for a t-shirt as a facilitator or the tote bag or the book, maybe I'll send a sticker in there too if I have leftovers. Participants will complete this survey.
Oh.
And then event hosts will complete this one. And so by doing that, you end up in the running for the prize. Yeah.
Wow.
I will then create an account for my school. Yeah, Maria, that's a perfect idea. Love it. Yes. Oh, Nancy, I'll add your name on there too. Let's see. Nancy. B. All right. Maria, do you want your name on there? It can be as many or as few as we want. I'll just hit go after like 3 seconds. Yeah. Okay, cool. Awesome. And then Maria. Okay. And then
and Alicia too.
if I'm just using a first initial of your last name, should I just go with D? Okay, cool. Thank you. Sorry. I don't believe I've never had that waiting factor. Okay, cool. I'll go ahead and submit it there. So project name was Squirrel Mapper. First hour of Zooniverse Palooza. Number of acts refers to how many of us were here today for the event, number of people. That could also be additional acts, but since we're gonna hold off on that since we all probably did different amounts. So I'll submit my report. Ta-da! And then I'm back to the same thing. So as a facilitator, I could go out and be like, yeah, I want to give myself a shirt. And then I won't do that though. Because
do you get more if the more you enter, do you get more opportunities to win, or is it just your name's in there with everybody?
You know, we haven't determined that. That is a good question though. If we do, I want to say it's going to be fully random, but if your name appears multiple times, that does mean it does increase your chances. So if you do multiple events, however, be careful. If you're writing in multiple for the same event, we'll be able to tell. So don't do that.
Oh, right.
Make sure you're only submitting one survey per event.
You're right. I'm not going to cheat. I don't want a t-shirt that badly.
No cheating allowed. Not
It's
allowed to-
11.
Okay. We're at 11, which means I'm going to.
Ta-da.
So, hello. Or wait, am I gonna reset? We're missing people,
Cedar
I
Creek.
think. We are gonna switch to Cedar Creek. So, I'm gonna go ahead and copy this for a moment. For you two, Robin and Bob, you're welcome to stay on for as long as you want. I'll be on until like 12:30-ish. So
I'm not
feel-
as expert on Cedar Creek, and I should probably work on the podcast. So let me do that for
Yeah.
a little while, but I'll come back a little bit later.
Awesome. Sounds great.
Yes.
And you
Have
have
much
the
to
two
add to
times that you
this,
know about already too, so you can come back for those.
Okay.
Well, thanks for introducing me to this project.
Absolutely. Thanks for showing us this universe process too. So
Yeah.
in real time. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Thanks both of you. I'll talk to y'all later then.
Yep.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.